another episode on The Talk with Rebbe. As you all know, The Talk with Rebbe is a program whereby we welcome guests from different walks of life to come right here on the show to share their experiences so that someone out there can listen and learn in order to make better life decisions for themselves. Last episode, we had a guest on the show. Although she was not here in person, it was a live session we had, and she was able to share her experience with us. And I'm quite sure that those that joined the live session, when the live session was going on, and those that watched the video after, I'm quite sure you were able to learn from her story. I would just like to give a recap of what she shared with us. She told us about how she was body shamed at a very young age and how it affected her. But later, when she grew up, she was able to learn and unlearn some things, and she later got to believe in herself, have confidence in herself, and be comfortable in her own body. And she also shared with us how it is very important not to give up, because giving up will not make you to have enough reason for starting in the first place, and it will amount to wasted years, wasted effort, and wasted resources. And I'm sure that everyone that listened to her story were able to learn from her story. I actually did learn from her story, and I would just like to encourage everyone that is watching this episode today to listen attentively so that you can learn from the story that will be shared on this platform today. We have another guest on the show, and definitely she'll be sharing her experiences with us. And I would just like to say that she's someone I really, really do admire. She's more like an auntie to me, and I respect her so much. She's a mother of two. She's an entrepreneur, and she's a woman of integrity. So she'll be sharing her experience with us today. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Guys, you're still watching The Talk with Rebbe, and I have here with me the guest we have on the show today, and she'll be introducing herself shortly. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're so happy to have you on the show. Thank you for coming on The Talk with Rebbe today.
Alright, thank you. I'm so happy. It's a privilege.
Okay. Could you please kindly introduce yourself to the viewers?
Alright. My name is Peace. You go for me, Mrs. anyway. And I'm married. I'm blessed with a set of twins by the grace of God. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a graduate of economics anyway, and I'm a businesswoman. I believe in opportunities and I believe in risk. So life is a risk. Let's live it to the fullest. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's so beautiful. Thank you for coming on the show. I usually say that it's something that is done out of love. Leaving your precious home and coming right here on the show to share your experiences is something that I really do admire and appreciate. So thank you once again. So before we continue, I would like to ask you, what do you do? You've already said that. Okay, I would like to ask you, what experiences will you be sharing with us today on the show?
You are the uncle. Let me follow your lead. Any aspect of life, you want to ask me question about growing up, ask me question about schooling, about marriage, challenges, business, life generally, being a mother.
Okay. Wow. I love
Any
this. I love this.
aspects
You're
you
giving
want
me
to
so many options.
Yes,
Wow,
any
this is
aspect
nice.
of life.
I think I have probably 3 aspects I would like to ask you. Okay, so I would like to let's start from your academics. Like, how were the challenges? How were you able to start up and finish well? As a student, we all have challenges. So I would just like to share your own part of the story.
Alright. Academics for me was not a bed of roses. It was not so much fun, but we scaled through it. Before I gained admission into the university, my first admission actually then, I had health issues that defied medical treatment. So I couldn't go to school for 4 years. So as at when I came to school, predominantly my secondary school mates were already out of the university. So it was more like a cycle for me that you are schooling with your younger siblings. Like, most of your classmates should be your younger siblings. But I find God I was able to merge, and I was able to interact with everybody regardless of your age. So that actually set a pace for me that wherever I found myself, I don't look at your age. I don't look at, I'm older than this or this older than me. I relate with people as an individual, not as age grade or you are this. So we're able to do a teamwork, and to the glory of God, I graduated at the right time with the right grade. So schooling for me was mixed with fun, but in the midst of that, I always look out to be the best.
Yeah, keywords be the best. Yeah, that's quite inspiring. The fact that you had to, leave school for 4 years and then go back again. I can imagine. So, okay, in the aspect of marriage, you are quite married, and I would just like you to, give advice to young ladies that are yet to get married, or probably the ones that are married already. Like, can you just share any of your experiences as a married woman that you like to, you like someone to learn from?
All right. I thank God for the opportunity to be married. I've been married now for about 6 years by the grace of God. I think I have little experience to share. One of the things I would tell a single lady to do before marriage is love yourself sufficiently. That regardless of what your spouse do to you, it does not define who you are. It does not reduce your self-worth. It doesn't make you start doubting yourself. So love yourself sufficiently, because you cannot give what you don't have. If you don't have enough love in yourself, you can't even love your spouse. And you can't even appreciate your spouse when they are showing you so much love, because you don't even know what love is. So I advise every single lady out there to love yourself sufficiently. In the aspect of finance, have your own money. It goes a long way. Have your own money. No matter how wealthy your man is, your husband is, there's always that time whereby probably he put all his money into an investment at a particular time. Things are rough with him, so he needs you to always step up and keep the house running when you have your own money. We don't pray for evil to happen, but sometimes a man has to take some risk, put all his money in an investment, and he expects his wife to actually come true for him at that time till the investment start yielding proceed. So in the aspect of tolerance, you have to put away toxic behavior, because relationship is far different from marriage. Marriage is somebody you have to live with every day. You wake up, you see him, he snores, he rolls over the bed, you are seeing him. So you have to learn how to tolerate people. Don't always expect the best from people. Learn how to give excuses for people. Let me use that word. Learn how to understand people individually, that everybody cannot be like your father. The man you are going to marry is not going to be your dad, so he's not going to treat you like a princess. He's expecting you to be a queen, and a queen is a woman of authority in the palace, a woman that can attend meetings on behalf of her husband, a woman that can deputize on behalf of her husband. Let me use that word. He's not marrying you to start pampering you in the house like your dad pampered you as a princess. No, he's marrying you to actually be a queen that can rule in place of him, that can take decisions, corporate decisions, and the kingdom keeps going. So your marriage is like a kingdom. Your children, everybody's like a subject in the kingdom. So your husband is the king, but you have to take your place as a queen, a place of authority. So you have to learn some discipline. But if you are not disciplined, you can't discipline others. You can't give what you don't have.
Wow, that is quite huge. Like, I don't even know how to start listing all the key points of everything you've said regarding marriage, and that is, I'm quite sure that everyone that is watching right now have been able to learn from all that you have listed, and I would still like to, still shed more light. And lastly, when it comes to struggle in life, trying to make it, trying to start up something, sometimes you want to do something and you're just scared that how do I go about it? What if I fail? What will people say? And then the strategies you use in order to accomplish your goal, to reach your target, how you can go about it. Because sometimes courage is one thing and bravery is another thing. We have the courage and not be so brave enough to take some risks, because you said something about taking risk. Life is a risk, and I feel that in life the major thing that limits some people is the fact that they really do not have the bravery. Let me say they are not brave enough to take risk. Risk is something that is 50-50. If it goes wrong, it's just like you're dead. If anything goes wrong, you are in for it. So it's just like you just put in your whole body in one hole, and you're like, oh, okay, this is it. So what advice will you give to someone that is just trying to come up, to build up their life, to become somebody? What are the advice you give them to be able to sustain the process of the hardship before they start yielding success at the end of the day?
Alright, what I would advise is first understand yourself, because we are all on a different journey. The destination might be similar that we want to make it, but the pathway to the success is different. So as a lady, as a guy, or as a youth generally, first tell yourself there are different segments in life. So plan each segment. If you are a family-oriented person, you want to have family, plan how many children you will have. Because whether you like it or not, the number of children you have to cater for determine the level of strength you have to put into your hustle. You understand? As a woman, choose how many children you're going to have with your spouse. Choose the support system you're going to put in place. Because some women have a very strong support system. Maybe they live in the same city with their mom, or they have younger siblings that can always come around to take care of the kids while they are out there looking for building career and all that. But if you don't have such system, have a dialogue with your spouse first. Even when you are still single, have a dialogue with that guy. Like, how many children would you like to have? What is the spacing of the children? So that will determine, okay, how you're going to push your career. For example, in my case, I got married immediately after school. So when I gave birth to twins, I didn't really have so much support system because my mom had to leave after Omugo, which we all know, and I didn't have a younger sibling that can stay with us. So I choose to sacrifice about 3 years of my life raising my children. I sacrifice that, like, my children has to know how to speak very well if I can bring in a stranger into the house as a maid or as a domestic staff. So during those periods I was at home, I was doing more on Google. Whenever I'm less busy, I go on doing my own research about what I can do concerning my passion that I have. I keep building myself to be up to date. So when I was ready to venture into my business, to an extent, I knew that my kids' heads, to an extent, humanly planning is already up to a certain, because they've taken some level of immunization. So I'm not running business and running hospital at the same time. I know that I've invested so much in their immune system because I've been the one handling everything all by myself. I knew very well that I've invested so much in mother and children relationship that they can tell me virtually everything. Anything that is happening, they can tell me, both important and irrelevant to us. So I knew that I've invested so much in building my home that I can actually leave my home at this point of time to make this money. So everything is, success is holistic in nature. You can't succeed in one and fail at the other. So right now the kids are growing up, we already have the relationship, and I'm building business. So most of the challenges you're going to face in life is you planning yourself adequately. If you are a family-oriented person, plan how you're going to have a family. If you are not a family-oriented person, you are a career-oriented person, go for your career. If the door refuses to open, push it down. Push it down, definitely you're going to make a pathway. If you are somebody who is both career-oriented and family-oriented, try and strike a balance. It starts from who you marry. Marry somebody who is going to support your dream when you are ready to fly. When you choose to fly, marry somebody who can support your dream to fly. But if you have a strong support system, you can mesh both childbearing, nursing babies with building career. Fine, beautiful, but always strike a balance. But one thing I'll always tell you, don't lose yourself in the process. Because yourself is the best asset you can ever have. All your employees can decide to leave you tomorrow, your investors can decide to pull out their investment, your boss can sack you tomorrow. But the only person who is not going to leave you is yourself. So invest so much in yourself, build yourself so well, invest in your hygiene, invest in your health, because you are the best asset you can ever have. The world is there ready for you. Don't be scared of risk. In the aspect of taking risk, I believe that life is a risk, and I believe that we'll all die someday. So I always tell my husband that it's not about how long I live, it's about how useful the days I was here mean to me. I'm not going to live like a Methuselah and have a meaningless life. So if you're always scared of, oh, if I take this risk, I might end up in problem, it might end up this, then you're not ready to actually live life. You're just here to exist. So what I will advise is take calculated risk. When you want to take a risk, take calculated risk. Don't just venture into something that you've not done your proper research on. So do your research, do your findings, then when you're ready to take the risk, take it with your full chest. And whatever comes out of it, you are ready to, you have a kind of assurance within yourself that your mind is built up enough to actually weather the storm if the storm eventually comes.
Comes.
But scared of taking a risk, scared of taking a risk, no, that's not the way to go. Take the risk. Even the fact that you are alive is a risk. The person you love is a risk. He can love you today and tomorrow is with another woman. Are you going to kill yourself? Or will you say because something like that might happen in future, you are scared of enjoying the moment? The moment he's loving you, she's loving you. Enjoy that moment. Build on that. Invest in that. Don't be so worried about what tomorrow brings, if it's going to leave me tomorrow. If you're going to live your life like that, you will never have a life. What you have is a nightmare. So please, invest in yourself, love yourself, and be ready to go for it.
Wow. Wow, I need to really, I need to clap. Like, everything you said is really, it shows that you are not just, you know, you're not just a lady, you're an experienced lady, and a lady of quality, a lady of much integrity, and you've been able to say quite a lot of things that I don't think I've heard. Some of the things that you just said now, I don't think I've heard them before, and I'm quite sure that to everyone that is listening right now, you guys have been able to learn a few things. So I would just like to just, recap a little bit on everything that you said that I have learned so far. So there was something you said about loving yourself. There was a point in time that this loving yourself that I keep hearing, people keep saying and all of that. I really didn't understand the in-depth of what it means to really love yourself. Not until I really took my time to know what it means to know that, okay, you are a person. When you see other people like, oh, okay, this person is my friend, this person is my sibling, and then you just like them. You see yourself too as another person, just like you are seeing yourself like an image of another person, and you fall in love with yourself, and then you know that, okay, I'm really a different breed, I'm a different kind of personality, and you just love yourself for who you are, and you take conscious effort to do things to show that, okay, you admire yourself, you love yourself. And the funny thing is that if you are able to build this love you have for yourself from within, it's very easy for other people to see it. And the funny thing is, when you start showing how much you love yourself, how it reflects to other people, how other people will start treating you will be different. Because they know that this person, either I'm with her, either I make her happy or not, she's happy.
Yes.
Either I do this for her or not, she's okay, she's herself, she's good anyways. When people know that their effect on you is not that, is really not that much, fine, they are important to you, fine, you love them, but they know that what they do does not really have much effect on you. Trust me, they will treat you well. So this loving yourself issue has to do with you just being, just doing things to be at peace with yourself, to love them. Put yourself first. It's not like you are being selfish.
Tell yourself you're beautiful. Don't wait for them to tell you.
Seriously, I said that in my
Look
last
at yourself
episode.
in the mirror and say, oh, I'm beautiful.
Seriously,
God did a perfect job creating me.
Honestly, I said that in my last episode because in fact, how unreasonable some people might say this when saying it to yourself. It is really powerful. You don't even know the strength it is. It will give you to know that you are fine all by yourself. Yes.
Words are very powerful. That was the reason why when I look at my children, I speak positive words to them, because it will build their mindset.
Yes.
To give them a very high self-esteem. So regardless of what someone else is telling, they'll say, my mom said I'm beautiful.
Yes.
Even if a teacher is saying, you don't know anything, my mom said I'm the most intelligent. I keep telling my children, your memory is blessed. Your understanding is fruitful. You are productive in all that you do. It's the same thing we do to ourselves. For example, let me give you this short story about my growing up as a child. I told you before that my first admission, I had health issues. That health issues defied medical practice, that even when I went to teaching hospital, they couldn't really unravel what was wrong with me. My spinal cord was bent, so I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand. When you try to put me in a standing position, my hands go to the floor like an animal. So everybody was like, did she have an accident? My parents were like, no, she didn't have an accident, she just woke up, and that was what it was. So after a very long time, after trying medical practice and nothing happened, my parents resort to tradition. So I was taken to a lot of places in Edo State for herbal treatment and every other thing, trying to save their child's life. Then after vomiting the moving objects that was eating up my internal organs and everything, so we went back to the hospital for a scan, and the doctor told me in general theory that my uterus were eating up. by the movie object, so I might not be able to have a child. That's fine. And I remember my mom said to the doctor, whose report shall you believe? That when it's time for her to have a child, she will have children. And the doctor said, no, look at the scan, her uterus has been eaten up, she can't have a child, she can't carry pregnancy to maturity. So because of the kind of person my mom is, she's a positive-minded person. So I grabbed that from her. I never saw myself with pity that, oh, please, you might never be able to have a child. No, I never believed that my uterus were damaged. I keep saying that I'm productive, I'm reproducing. You know, I keep saying, God, my mom will lay hands on me now and say that none shall be barren in the land. So even when I became a full-grown adult, I was, I'm already in the university. I went back to the university and everything. I took it from where my mom stopped. So every day I lay my hands in my stomach and I said that, because my mom used to tell me that God has spare parts for everything. If a manufacturer of a car has spare parts, then God also has spare parts. So God can replace the uterus that were eaten up. So I'll lay my hands on my stomach and I'll say that uterus, you are coming back. Lo and behold, I got married. Less than a year of wedding anniversary, I had a twins. You understand? So I believe in spoken words, and that's the reason I don't keep so much company, because I don't like this general idea of you are man, you are crazy. I don't like words because I believe words are powerful. So I don't stay around people that tell me words that put me down, words that gives me a second thought of, oh, is this person actually right? No. I like an environment, even if you want to correct me out of love, go straight to the point. I encourage people who comes out to say, peace, you are not doing this right. Peace, you are wrong in this aspect. Tell me straight up, but don't try and use words that will start making me feel like, oh, because I'm a testimony of that. What positive words, it works.
Yes, it does work. And positive words, like you said, they are very powerful. And the fact that, when people keep saying be positive, in fact, I don't know the negative effect of being positive. The worst thing that can happen is that, fine, it may not happen. But still, that process of you being positive, you will benefit from it. You won't have anything to lose. But when you are always doubting, you are always being negative, trust me, in fact, you will not be able to have the courage to even take effort in the first place, because you've already made up your mind that it can't work, so you're not going to do anything about it. But when you are positive, even if it doesn't come true, at least in that process, you're able to learn something. And then there's another thing you said. You said that you don't like to be around people that pull you down. That's a very strong thing that I believe that people should learn to do. Everybody cannot be your friend. It's not even compulsory to have friends. Like I said, love yourself. If you love yourself, you enjoy your own company. In fact, you will, guess what? Fine, we all need people, we all need friends. But it will not be a major source of your happiness.
But let me comment. There's a mistake. Okay. I think my generation is making, and the generation that is coming after us. We don't know how to differentiate relationships. Everybody cannot be your friend. You can have somebody who is your business partner. His business partner.
Yes.
You have somebody who was your schoolmate. It's a schoolmate. You have somebody who is your neighbor. She's a neighbor. You have somebody who is your colleague in the office. She's your colleague. Everybody don't have to be your friends. Friends, that word is a different thing. This generation should go to dictionary and actually research what a friend is. We drink together, we smoke together, we go to salon together, does not make us friends. We are buddies.
Yeah.
So there's a thin line. So if what we have together is that we work in the same place, and I realize that your vision in life is not the same with mine, our relationship is strictly on work. If it's not work, then you don't have a right to my personal life for you to talk me down. You don't have a right to that. It's strictly on work. I relate with you based on official duties. If we are in the same church, we are in the same unit, that's who you are. You're my choir member. If our vision is not alike, you stay that lane. You are my choir member.
The thing is
You are my neighbor. You stay that lane. So I don't need to choke my space with, oh, she's my friend. We go to salon together, she's my friend. We go to the same church together, she's my friend. We do this together, she's my friend. No.
Yes, me personally, I don't know. I've really been very protective of my space. Fine, I know I have friends, but I always know the category I put them. Because fine, I'll still be the nice, loving person to everyone. Sure. But I'm just very skeptical about people I really get close to me. Because I just believe that, like what you said, being surrounded by people that pull you down, people that you don't have this connection with, it has a way it gets to you. So it's just better to just let them know their boundaries, let them know that, okay, these are friends that can be afar off. You guys can chat, but there's a limit to how
Even
they can
the
have
chat,
access to
the
you.
chat has to be within what is connecting on. If it's work that is connecting on, the chat has to be about work. If you have something you want me to do from my department, you send me an email, I respond to that. You have something you want me to, but when you are crossing that line to start telling me, look at your head is too big, you were one. So when you are crossing that line, I'll put you in your place. Excuse me, your jurisdiction as my colleague does not give you the right to say something about how I look.
And seriously, it doesn't mean that you are proud.
It doesn't mean you are proud. It just means that you are setting boundaries, because even in this world there are boundaries. Nigeria has boundary, Ghana has boundary, USA has boundary.
Yeah.
So even you as a person, there are boundaries to things. Because if you don't set those boundaries, people will abuse your simplicity.
Definitely.
They will take your simplicity for granted. Oh, I can tell her anything and go. No, you can't tell me anything and go. Know where you stay. I know my friends. I know those that can tell me, see your head. I know that they are not trying to pull me down. I know those that will tell me, oh, Peace, your hair is beautiful. And then the day they tell me, Peace, your hair is not beautiful, I know that they are sincere with me. Not the ones that are always looking for something negative. You looked at me from head to toe, the only thing you see that maybe, oh, look at her, her skin is too dark. Must I use a toning cream to tone my skin? Oh, look at her, she doesn't even know how to dress. Oh, that's the only thing you see to compliment. You didn't compliment my eyeballs, you didn't compliment my teeth, you didn't compliment just one thing that is wrong is what is that's negative energy. I don't keep such.
That's a keynote for everyone that is watching. Just be mindful of your space. Be mindful of people you allow to cross that boundary. Fine, it's good to have friends, but be certain of the friends you have to have access to your personal space, to have access to tell you some things, because people you are surrounded by, whether you like it or not, consciously or unconsciously, they have a hold on you. There's no how they will not have effects on your productivity, on your emotions. There's no how. So we have to be very careful on people we allow to be very close to us, that they can have access to our personal space. So that's that. And then the next point I actually picked from what you said. You said have your own money before you get married. When we were talking about marriage, that's in fact, how will I put it, is it cannot be overemphasized. Having your own money before you get married is very important, and I'm quite sure that a lot of Nigerian women have been aware of this. Though some people are aware, but it's very difficult for them to make that decision and take their stand that I must do this before I get married. Fine, it's quite good to get married immediately after you graduate. Some people you already have in fact, before you even graduate, you already have what you are doing. So it's just for you to establish when you get married, and then
have your own money. Have your own money. It's not 100% about you having a paycheck. Have money intelligence. Be aware. Money is a substance. Be aware. What I mean by that is, if you are not privileged, we know that in Nigeria there are no jobs. Let's say ourselves the truth. Yes. There are no good jobs. Somebody who is working and earning 30K a month, that one money. If you remove transportation, what can that actually do for you as a person? So it's not a yardstick to say, oh, you must have a job before you say yes to his proposal. It's not a yardstick to say, oh, you must have $1 million in your account. No. But what I was saying about you having your own money is have that money intelligence. Have money intelligence. Be intelligent about money. Be aware. You must not buy everything that is in vogue. You must not do everything everybody is doing. Learn how to manage that finance. If you don't have that big job, you don't have that big business yet, but what you have, be able to manage it. Have that financial management skills. Be able to manage what is available as at now. Why you hope for a bigger deal, you hope for growth in your business, you hope for a better job, you hope for promotion in your office, but that little you said you have right now, you should be able to manage it. Practical example is this. For example, you are planning a wedding, and as a girl, probably what you have in your savings is more like 200,000 naira, for example, and your young man who wants to start a life, plus or minus have $500,000 naira in his account. That's a big boy in today's economy. A young man who is able to save such a money, who is doing legit, that's a big boy for me. Then two of you put your 700K on ground and say we want to do a wedding. That's not, if you have financial intelligence, that's not when you start doing, oh, I must do bridal shower. I must lodge a very expensive hotel for all my girls and do bridal shower for them. Fine and beautiful if you can afford it. But let's look at what is on the ground. Can you actually afford that? Or do you want to take loan to impress people? Oh, I want my wedding gown to be made in Paris. No, I want to use a hotel. The reception has to be, I want my wedding to be the top of town. The truth of the matter is, even when you have 5 million naira, even if your man is so wealthy, maybe his net worth or his cash at hand is 10 million naira, there are still some things you don't do because the motive is to impress people. But when you go broke, these people will not pick your call. When you go broke, you are alone with your man. So the young ladies should know that you don't live your life to impress people because rumor don't last forever. If you do your wedding this weekend to impress us, by next weekend someone else is doing wedding.
We have forgotten.
We've forgotten about yours. We've forgotten the cake. We've forgotten the decor. We've forgotten the dress. We've forgotten everything. It's gone.
You know one thing I really think people should people should learn at all. Don't overemphasize your place in the life of people. People don't
We
give.
don't really
I don't want to
care.
use the F word. People don't give a F about you. Fine, they love you. They will say it today.
We don't care.
But before you
Do you
everybody
know
have their
that
personal problems.
do you know that
and-
most times the things we care ourselves about, the people we actually want to care, they don't even give a damn. I'm coming to your wedding. I don't even care to know how much is the hall you rented. I don't care how much is your dressing. I don't care. And most people don't actually care. What we want, if you can't afford a makeup artist, do your makeup by yourself. Are you getting it? Do it by yourself. I didn't carry a makeup artist during my wedding because I couldn't afford it, and I can't put that burden on an innocent man who is just trying to start a life. I did my makeup myself. My husband will always say that the day I saw you, you are not very professional makeup, and I loved you like that. And today, my wedding pictures are seen. I was like, oh wow, you look beautiful on your wedding day. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying everybody should do it like me, but I'm trying to if you can't afford it,
Don't go out of
stay
your
away from
way.
it.
Don't go
I
out
told
of
my
your way.
husband who wanted to get married, how much do you have? When we put our budgets together, I told my husband, after wedding, we should have not less than 300,000 naira in the account that we did not touch. It's not because the money was everywhere. In spite of that, I didn't carry makeup artist. Because to me, it was not a necessity. There are a lot of things I choose not to do, but they were not necessities. Because after wedding, that's when the real life hits you. The wedding is in 1 day or probably 2 days, your trad, your white wedding, 2 days maximum you are done. It's when you are through with that the real life situation hits you.
Okay, sorry. There was one thing you said about the fact that you don't really have to have the money, the money physically. You have money intelligence.
But have the intelligence.
Yes,
When the man brings the money, be able to plan with him with the money, so that the money will keep multiplying.
Money intelligence, like being able to manage your resources, being able to make something out of nothing is a special ability that only a disciplined lady we have. This money issue, this not being too materialistic, not going out of your way or wanting something you cannot afford, has to do with self-discipline as a lady. And then the fact that yes, it's a choice, and you have to discipline yourself too, because when I see that my friend, she's living large with her husband, and I know that me and my husband, we really do not have that kind of money, and I really want, and I because I want
the money. You can have the money, but because there's a bigger plan, you choose to live. I tell people that if you're a millionaire, live like a Tanzanian. You understand?
Yeah.
One, it saves you from a lot of mental stress. Because when you're a millionaire and you are even living above, they say fake it to make it. I don't know where they got that theory from. It's not in economics, and I don't think it's in any human resource discipline. I don't know where they got it from, but I'm against that say. Fake it to make it means you should live above your means, right? That's the theory about fake it till you make it. Live above your means. What it does to you, that it attracts unnecessary people to you. You make unnecessary enemies, because we are a social animal as human beings. We don't live in isolation. We interact. So when you're in Tanzania, for example, and you are living the life of a millionaire, fake life, what it does is that in this era of social media, your siblings will think you have Your parents will think, oh, she has. Your friends will like, oh, she has. Your neighbor, even your landlord will believe you have, so they will increase rent for you. Everybody believes you have. So when the bills start coming, you give, no, you can't be living the life of a millionaire. Then your younger sibling in school, you are giving her 10,000 naira or giving him 10,000 naira. You always feel like, this my brother is stingy. And that 10,000 naira you are giving her may actually be a sacrifice on your part. But because you are living this fake life, people don't appreciate the best efforts you put in. So it gives you unnecessary enemies. It creates enmity everywhere for you. Even in your church, you bought a car with a loan. Your pastor believes that you've arrived. So the next building project in church, they are adding you to a building committee because they expect you to give because you've arrived. It seems your business is booming. So when you are not living up to all these expectations society placed you realize that you create unnecessary enemies around you. Like, my uncle has money, doesn't want to help us. That's where those narratives came from. Because naturally we grew up like, oh, my auntie has money, she doesn't want to help us. My uncle has money. But I grew up to realize that some of those things you see them use, some of them they actually bought them on loan. They took loan from the office to buy those cars. Some of them they actually live that fake life. But it creates that unnecessary hatred within you. People that are supposed to love you end up hating you, thinking that you don't want to share your so-called breakthrough with them. So when you live below your income, it makes people be like, oh, she not date or so she get, she forgive. So they even end up understanding you even when you did not explain. Oh, they don't have. If they have, you can't see the car she's using. Can't you see her husband have not changed her car? You understand? But you might actually have an investment somewhere. That even the person that is driving the latest model of a car does not have such investment. And most of those investments you will enjoy them as you are aging. Because inflation keeps going up in a country like Nigeria. So cost of living keeps going up every day. So when you are pulling resources from those investments you made underground 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, people that don't know say, which soap she using? So they will think there's something diabolic about it. We work in the same office. How come? It's not your salary that he or she is spending. The wife at home has been able to help her husband to invest that salary while you were busy spending your husband's money trying to impress people. You understand it? So it doesn't matter if they call you old school, if they say you are outdated, you are not fashionable and all that. It doesn't matter. Just relax. Use your intelligence to build your mind.
And I actually wanted to add to that. What you said is quite true. And then me personally, I feel that before you actually get married, fine, have money, intelligence, and all of this, but still, you still have to have something on ground.
I'm not overruling the fact that physically you have to have something that's going on for
at
you.
least,
you
even
need
if
to
it's
have your
a
money.
stable business.
But we shouldn't use that as a basis to judge, because a woman has a life cycle. Some of us might not hit that breakthrough until we are in our late 30s. So are you going to use a basis to say, oh, until you are a millionaire, don't marry?
No.
Until you have a million investment, don't marry.
That's what I'm saying, that you don't have to.
Sometimes we need
have
each
this
other.
all
You
in
know,
quotes, but you
there's-
should have something to start off with. Like, I can't get married and have nothing at all. Nothing
No.
I'm doing. Do you understand? At least either I have a business, even if that business I'm getting like 20k monthly, at least I know that something is coming in. Do you understand?
Sure, but the
even
business,
if I'm getting a job and they are paying me like, let's say even the lowest amount of money, I'm getting like 30k a month, I know that something is still coming in.
Let's be
Not
practical.
that I don't have anything at all, and I'm going to marry.
No, let's be
I
practical.
don't think that's
It's
being
only a
practical.
foolish girl who will rush into marriage when you don't actually have something you think will be making money for you. Sometimes marriage takes away that thing. That's the reality. You actually have something that's making money for you, no matter how small it is, and you want to go into marriage. When life reality hits you, you might actually give up. I know a lot of women that after marriage they stop working because maybe they have issues with pregnancy. It happens to me. During my first trimester, my doctor told me that I don't need stress. I have to stop working. Because then, where I was working, I leave my house 5 a.m., 4:30 a.m. every day. So the doctor said, no, for the sake of the... Then I didn't even know I was carrying a set of twins. Oh, for the sake of the children, for the health of the children, you need rest. So there are some women that life hits you. That's why I said, love yourself enough that no matter what life throws at you, you have the stamina to take it. Life hits you that you might end up losing your job. Or your husband might tell you to relocate from your city of residence to his city of residence. So when you are leaving your base to meet your husband in his base, what happens? You've lost your job then. And what is the guarantee that when you get to his base, you will quickly get something doing? Physically, something doing. So for me, it's still financial intelligence. When you are financially intelligent enough, when you move to his base, you the time you are there, you study what people need there that you can do. But for that time duration where you are trying to settle, it might take you a week, it might take you a month, it might, some other women it might take them 6 months to actually, okay, this new base I moved into with my husband, what do people need that I can sell? Okay, if this is what I know people need that I can sell, how long will it take for me to raise capital when we know that our financial system in Nigeria does not really support small and medium scale enterprise? It's not everywhere that has collateral to take loan from the bank. So let's be very practical. It's easy for everybody to just go. It's easy for us to go on social media and say, oh, we may have something doing. But the practical thing is that some of us will actually have something doing as a single lady. But when marriage hits you, there's a reason for you to. Even sometimes some husband will tell you your job is not giving you time for the children. So I want you to quit job for this time being, so that the children, I can't be running 4 a.m. out of the house every morning. You are running 4 a.m. out of the house every morning. One of us has to step down for the children till we are able to raise money to fix you off. So it's not an issue of partnership. You look, okay, my children, because that's the heartbeat of every mother. We don't joke with our children. You're like, okay, my children actually needs me. You can't have a child that's always running in and out of hospital. You want to stay back and look at what are my children actually eating. How hygienic is their water? Even as small as their food flasks to school, you want to be sure that it's properly washed. So by the time you step down to focus on the children, there's a duration to raise capital. You can't just walk into a bank and say, bank, give me ₦1 million loan now. Because we know how much a shop to rent a shop costs them. We pay annually. You pay agent, you pay this. You need money to buy the instrument you use to do your job. You need fan, you need AC, you need to put the shop in place before you start making money.
I actually agree with you on that. The fact that fine, you may not really have anything you are doing, but money intelligence actually supersedes every other thing I've stated. Because even once you get married, I think what to place emphasis on the quote that people actually say, have your own money, in the sense that even in that marriage, fine, there's some lapses that you may not even have anything you are doing for now, but still you are able to pick up yourself, because you cannot still rely on just the husband bringing the income forever.
You can't rely on the
you must be able to
even while you are at home, there are some things you can do as a sit-at-home mom.
There's some.
So it's all about having that intelligence of I have to have something I'm doing.
Something has to be coming in from my own
end, from my own angle.
In order to complement.
But don't put pressure on yourself if it's not coming in millions. So this idea that this generation of girls are having on social media, that if I'm not a millionaire, I shouldn't marry, or when somebody comes to Juro blog, I am on that blog, though I don't comment, I really comment a lot. So when I see some funny things, there were some single girls say, go and make your own money. Sometimes you can have your own money and yet you can't divorce your husband, even when cheating. So that's not a solution to the problem. When a woman is crying out that my husband is this, my husband is that, they say, go and make your own money, put a stop to some bullshit. There are some women that are the breadwinner of the house. Their husband uses their money to fund a side chick.
You know that, how will I put it now? Everybody have different stories. There are different, how will I put it now? Everybody just have different stories.
So for those,
the thing is, you cannot use other people's story to judge yours. Different situations, different circumstances.
So for those people who keep telling those women that likes to cry out, we all have different reservoir of pressure. Some of us can take it in. We don't need to type. We don't need to shout it. But for those that shout it out, the best thing to do is not to tell her, go and make your money. Because there's no trick where people block money. And we know the reality in Lagos, in Nigeria. There are no jobs you just get to do.
I think what supersedes all those things.
Most women resort into a teaching job to have time flexibility, to balance the equation. Now, in a situation whereby there's a husband who at the moment is misbehaving, how much do you think a random school, let's leave Lekki, let's leave Banana, let's leave Ikoyi, this is Nigeria, a random school in other 35 states in Nigeria, even some local governments in Lagos, how much do you think a random school will pay a teacher? Do you think that's enough for a woman to just pack her bag and say, I'm not doing anymore, I want to go and rent my house, I'm not doing anymore? Most of these women have something they are doing, but the truth is what is coming out from there, because of our bad economic situation, is not sufficient for her to just like, I'm not doing anymore, I'm going away. No. we should be able to share love. You should be able to understand their pain at that moment. Say, mother, don't worry. With time, you will have your money. It's not. Don't put the blame on the victim. She's already a victim. So don't put the blame on her that the reason her husband is mistreating her is because she does not have a millionaire.
But let's not dispute the fact that it is still a fact.
It's still a
For disrespect in a marriage, if you are always depending on your husband. So for those women
it's
to
not,
actually
it's
say
not it's not if it's not depending on it's not see, let's
it's
let's,
a
let's
factor.
let's
That
get
does
it
not mean
clear.
that it's 100%.
Let's get it
It's
clear.
a factor. That
Most
means
men,
it's one of
let's
it's
make
one
it,
of out of 10.
yes,
Do you understand?
let me make something clear. By privilege, I've been able to speak a lot of men. My husband have friends. Most men don't disrespect a woman because she's not making millions.
No,
Hold on. Or she's not making money.
Okay.
Most men disrespect the woman when she's living above her means. A woman can have a job of 100k a month, and her standard of living, the pressure she's putting on her husband is like somebody who's earning half a million naira. To her husband, that your 100k is rubbish. You are still a liability to him. And you can have a woman whose income in a month is like 50,000, but the way she lives her life, she's not putting unnecessary pressure on the man. The man will appreciate her. So it's not about the volume, it's about you as a person, loving yourself to know that I don't need to look flashy for people to love me. So I don't need to break the bank for people to love me. I'm who I am. This is who I am.
I think
so
everything
when
just
you are
bounce
here,
back on you.
Your
loving
character,
yourself.
your individuality, you can be earning half a million naira in a month, and the life you have, your husband is in huge debt because of your lifestyle. Another woman can be somebody who's earning 80k in a month. She's an asset to her husband, not a liability. So I want women to stop this liability mentality. You are coming into a marriage, you are coming with a liability mindset. You are coming with problem, financial problem for a man. That's what the man we hate. But if you are an asset, regardless of how little you are making at the time, and you keep planning to make it bigger, you have plans to make it bigger, then the man will appreciate you.
Okay, I may not really be able to really go around with all the points I've stated, but the last one that really hits me deep, you say that we should, erase the mentality of the fact that once we get married, we'll be treated like a princess. I think people mistake the characteristics of a queen and a princess. You know, when you're a princess, you want to do everything for you.
Yes.
They want to pamper. That is definitely, it's normal for you to be pampered in a relationship, in a marriage, and all of that, to be treated like a princess. Sometimes, they want to take care of you. They don't want to stress yourself. Everything you want to do, they do it for you, and all of that. But when you are seen as a queen, you are seen as a symbol of authority. Respect is not just, it is not demanded. It is heard. It comes naturally. So in marriage, like what you said your husband will treat you like a queen, because he's a king and it's a kingdom. In fact, the scenario you gave is in fact the perfect example of how a marriage should be. He's a king, you are a queen. And your castle, your relationship, your marriage is the kingdom, and then your children are the subjects, and every other family member and all of that. So the fact that when you are going into marriage, drop that princess mentality, how you are being treated at home by your mom, by your dad, drop it. Fine, that can actually take place when you guys are courting, when you are in a relationship. But when it's in marriage already, it's fine. You said something like you guys are already partners. You are partners. It's just more like a partnership. And when you are in a business partnership with someone,
You have your rules.
you have your rules, I have my rules, and the way you respect that person, the confidence you have in that person is the same confidence that person has in you. So when you are in a marriage, your husband should be able to see you as a second
in command.
a second backbone. Do you understand?
In marriage, you are second in command. It's just like in military. When in a normal political structure, when the president travels, the vice president do things.
Takes up.
The vice president do things. When the president is maybe medically, the medical trip or medical, the vice. So you don't just sit down and talk. Honey, there's no fuel in the generator. When you come, you buy fuel. Honey, the car. There's no when you come back, carry the car, go and fuel. And you are sitting at home watching Telemundo. Honey, you are not taking responsibility. It's not even about finances alone. Most men. Let me tell you one thing. My husband told me something. He said, why do you think most rich girls are single? Nobody's marrying them. It's not about the money. If money, being financially dependent, is the absolute reason, why men stick to a woman. Some of our big billionaires, you know some of them, top bloggers, billionaires. Why did the baby father, why didn't he put the ring on it? It goes beyond I have money. We have a lot of big ladies, very wealthy. I love them so much and I respect them so much because I love people in parts. I like people in parts. I might not like you totally, or I might not like
definitely.
all your
You can't
ideology,
love everything about
but
the person,
there are some
especially
things I
celebrities.
admire, and so there are some of them like that. My husband will tell you, why didn't the man put the ring on it? We have a lot of rich baby mamas. With all due respect to them, it's not easy to be a mother. I respect them and I love them. But why did the father of the child not put a ring on it? My husband will tell me that's not what we men are looking at, that you women are thinking. Yes, it's good. This whole new feminism trend. Yeah, it's good. Go and make your money. It's good. Have your money. That can take care of your needs. Don't have your money and your money is not meeting your needs, then you are still a liability to me. It's like we are moving around in the same circle. So this whole issue of this financial independence and
the fact that
you have to be the queen goes beyond money, contributing a percentage to run. It goes to the point of taking responsibility. When your child is having temperature, are you waiting for your husband to come and take the child to the hospital? Can you take the child to the hospital and call your husband, I'm on my way, I'm taking the baby to the hospital to see the doctor. The baby is having temperature. Or are you the one crying like a baby? Your husband is petting the baby who is taking injection, is petting you the mother who is. Are you so? There are sometimes second in command means when on that one day I'm here. If they are holding estate meeting, my compound cannot be left out. My husband is around, yes, I'm second in command. You should be holding a meeting, I will give you the report. And you are making decision. If there's a need for you to speak in that meeting, you command respect. You speak with so much intelligence that even other people will see your husband and say, guy, now man, you be your wife and material. Not somebody that tell you, guy, you take marry that woman. She's so empty, her brain is so empty, there's nothing upstairs. If your husband is a CEO of a company and is presently not available, you can hold that board meeting. Because they say the wife of a general is a general.
Yes.
So if your husband has a company, I don't see any reason why you should not know what is going on in that company. You should be able to know what kind of business your husband is doing. What are the factors determining sales in his business? How is he going to grow his business? It's part of you being the queen. You don't just sit down and wait until when he brings the money. Yeah, I want a trip to Caribbean island. I want to go for spa. Only I need 50 million naira there. That's not what makes you a queen. A queen is the person who is holding its ransom.
He's holding it down. Why
Holding
is
it
it
down.
away?
When the man will tell you,
when
the man tells you that when you bring a business idea to a man or you bring something and say, let me talk to my wife, it shows the wife has something upstairs.
Yeah.
If the wife has nothing upstairs, the wife will not even know what her husband is doing.
You know, some of these things actually.
He believes in your judgment that my wife is
little
intelligent enough to guide me in this path. So it's not about you or any the money. You can be that resource, that period you decide to stay and raise your kids, for example. It could be that your husband cannot do without you. It could be that as you are at home, you are reading books. You are doing online lectures, online classes. You are building your human capacity. That your husband can tell you, this issue, let me call my wife. He's not saying let me call my wife because you are going to slap him when he gets home if he didn't tell you. He's saying let me call my wife because he knows that you are a well of intelligence. You are a resourceful person. If he tells you, you can tell, okay, only give me 10 minutes, give me 20 minutes, I'll get back to you. That 20 minutes, you are online research. You don't have to have all the knowledge embedded in here, but you have to know the right websites to go to. Thank God for Google. Google it. How can this thing be done? A lot of men get defrauded because they don't have a wife who can see the inevitable.
You know, sometimes a virtuous woman, you know, that statement is all encompassing.
Yes.
As a woman, you don't just have to just be a woman that exists. You have to be a virtuous woman. And when you are a virtuous woman, there's so many qualities, there's so many things that encompasses a virtuous woman. A woman of resource, a woman that once you are in a place, people know that this person, you know, a woman of integrity. When people know that this person stands for what she says, not that you are saying A, B is happening on the background. They know that whatever comes out from this woman is nothing but the truth. You know, you have this. You're able to earn the trust of people. People can respect you. There's nothing about a celebrity that I really respect. Although everybody knows that, I won't mention her name, but she's a top celebrity, a foreign celebrity. And the standard this lady has been able to build over the years. Then, like, I asked myself that for someone for several years to build the same standard and still keep at it, wow. In fact, that lady, she deserves to be worshipped the way she is. You know, sometimes you don't do things because you just feel like it. You don't do things because it's happening presently. You think of the future. In fact, most of the decision you make as a person, especially as a woman, you don't think of now. You think of 10 years time. You think of 20 years time. You are very conscious of what that future is going to say about what you are doing now. So basically, in fact, you have said it all. I don't even need to emphasize or shed more light or explain. Me personally, I've learned a lot from everything you have said today, and I'm quite sure that everyone that watched this episode have been able to learn. So to everyone out there, both single ladies, married, and everyone that's watching this episode today, I'm really happy that you guys have been able to join us on this discussion and you've been able to learn a lot from it. Don't worry, as time goes on, we'll still invite more guests, and we'll definitely still invite her later if you want to hear a lot from our story. So basically, I would just like to thank you once again, Mrs. Peace, for coming on the show. And we always have sponsors that sponsor our show and give our guests when they come, just to thank them for coming on the show to share their experiences. And our sponsor is Skincare by Olufemi, and she usually partner, the brand usually partner with our official sponsor, that's Lake Mami Photography, to give to our guests. So we have something very little to give to you to thank you for coming on the show today. We'd like to give you this.
Wow.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
This is beautiful.
Please help us manage it.
Wow, so nice.
Thank you.
Wow. I look so gorgeous.
Yes.
Thank you to all our sponsors. Thank you.
Yes,
to
and
the
our
organizer.
sponsor. I think you saw the graphic design of the show.
Yeah.
Of my it's our a very good friend of mine that did it, and his name is Ali Ukende. So I'm just going to use this opportunity to tell him thank you
Thank
for
you so
being.
much.
Yeah, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I appreciate this. This is lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so glad you love it. So thank you to all the viewers out there for joining today's show. My name remains Rebecca Irabo, and if you'd like to be on a guest on the show, you know what to do. Reach out to me on all the social media platforms listed out on okay, let me just say it. Reach out to me on my page on IG, that's at Priceless Rebby, or you can send a mail to me to Rebecca Irabo234@gmail.com, or you can call me on 08167055537. And if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, you know what to do. Click the subscribe button right now, and also click on the notification button. Whenever we post a video, you'll be notified that we have posted a new episode. And also follow us on our social media platforms. If you like to be a guest, if you like to be a sponsor, reach out to me on all those platforms, and we can talk about how you can sponsor the event. And what else? I know that you'll be able to learn a lot. So just have a wonderful day, and thank you once again. Until next time, my name remains Rebecca Irabo. Bye.